Most PhD students spend their time stuck in the offices, but not me. I'm working in the forest. I am Michelle Balasso. I'm coming from northern Italy and I'm doing my PhD in biological science at the University of Tasmania. And this is my story as a PhD student. I guess I was born in forestry. My dad is a carpenter and a forester, and I've been breathing timber dust since I was born. And when I was 5 years old, when they ask you, what do you want to become when you're older? I was just answering, I want to work in nature. And this is exactly what I'm doing every day. There are quite a lot of misconceptions about what it is to do a PhD. Many people think that it's worthless or it's just about studying, just about being on books and reading, developing research that maybe are not useful. But actually, PhD students are 1% of the graduate population, and it's an important part of the university life. I don't have such typical days as many students because most of my weeks are between the meals, the forest, the office. I'm not in the office that much. I don't really like working at the computer because I really like to go out and measure and collect data and see how the reality is outside the office. In forestry, we use different instruments to measure trees variables. The first one is the tape. The diameter tape, which we use for measure obviously diameters. And then we use the vertex, and this one measures the height of the trees. The equipment that I use is very diversified. It depends on what I have to measure. I use increment borers for density or other non-destructive technologies to understand the quality of the timber. The best things about studying in Tasmania is the wilderness, the possibility to stay outside to enjoy the nature, which is raw in its purest form. Coming from Europe, and especially in Italy, I've been seeing different environments. I've been working in the boreal forest of Sweden, Lapland, and then I've been working in national parks in Germany. And then arriving in Tasmania is a totally different environment, totally different species, climate, and that's amazing because it gets me to see how nature can be so different and diversified in its forms. When I arrived in Tasmania, it was basically a trauma, coming from the other side of the world in an island which has a totally different climate and environment. And I put on my boots, my high vis, my helmet, and went into the forest to start doing my job. And the foresters and the guys over there were looking at me and thinking, this is the administration. And I actually proved them that I was not the administration and I was going to work with them in the forest. My hopes are that in future my project will be able to deliver knowledge to better use of plantation timber for higher quality production, so to add value to this raw resource which is amazing and can be utilized better for other markets. What I plan to do after I finish my PhD, that's the gold question. I would like to work in the research but still having a view of how it works in the industry. So maybe being either a consultant and a researcher, maintaining this kind of twofold position that will allow me to be a researcher but applying my discovering outside academia. I am Michelle, and this was my story as a PhD student.